Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Ever feel like you're trying to predict the weather with a broken barometer? That's what navigating AI regulation in the UK feels like right now. The rules are changing faster than a TikTok trend, and businesses are scrambling to keep up. Today, we're diving deep into the UK's evolving AI governance landscape. Is it a recipe for innovation or a regulatory roadblock? That's the million-dollar question, and we're going to try and answer it. So, what's the big news? Well, the UK is moving away from a purely principles-based, sector-specific approach to AI regulation. Think of it like this. Instead of guidelines, they're potentially heading towards actual, binding laws, especially when it comes to those really powerful AI models. This is a significant shift, and it's got everyone in the tech world talking. The initial, light-touch approach is giving way to something potentially much heavier. Why the change? Concerns about safety, ethics, and frankly, the sheer speed at which AI is developing. The immediate impact? Uncertainty. Plain and simple. Businesses, especially smaller AI startups, are now facing the prospect of increased compliance burdens. They're spending more time trying to figure out what the new rules are, and less time actually innovating. It's like trying to build a rocket while constantly dodging falling regulations. The government is trying to mitigate this with things like the AI safety platform, but let's be honest, the regulatory waters are getting muddier, not clearer. Okay, let's talk about the domino effect. First, in the direct domain of AI development and deployment, we're looking at increased costs. Think about it. More regulations mean more assessments, more audits, and more paperwork. This hits smaller companies the hardest. They don't have the same resources as the big boys to navigate this complex landscape. This could lead to a slowdown in innovation as companies prioritize compliance over rapid experimentation. It's a classic case of regulatory drag, slowing down the pace of progress. And here's the kicker. This could lead to market consolidation. Larger companies, with their deeper pockets and dedicated compliance teams, are better positioned to handle the regulatory burden. This gives them a competitive advantage, potentially squeezing out smaller players and reducing overall competition. Less competition? That's rarely a good thing for innovation in the long run. It limits consumer choice and can stifle creativity. Now, let's zoom out and look at adjacent industries like finance, tech, and public services. The current principles-based framework encourages sector-specific regulators to interpret and apply AI principles to their own domains. This allows for tailored approaches, but also creates inconsistencies. One regulator might be strict, another lenient. It's a bit of a wild west out there. The AI Action Plan aims to leverage AI for efficiency gains in public services, which is great in theory, but raises some serious questions about data privacy and algorithmic bias. More on that later. Here's a silver lining. There's going to be a massive demand for AI risk management and compliance services. As AI adoption grows in these sectors, companies are going to need help navigating the regulatory maze. This creates opportunities for consulting firms, cybersecurity companies, and legal professionals specializing in AI regulation. So, if you're looking for a career change, AI compliance might be a good bet. But seriously, it highlights the growing complexity of the field. Long-term, widespread AI adoption could fundamentally transform business models and public service delivery. Imagine AI-powered personalized services in healthcare, education, or even waste management. It sounds great, right? But it also raises concerns about data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the potential for misuse. We need to be careful that we're not just automating inequality. Let's talk about the big picture, the socio-economic impact. The Parliamentary Office of Science and Technology, POST, briefing highlights the ethical considerations and regulatory challenges surrounding AI. This is raising public awareness and sparking debate about the responsible development and deployment of AI. And that's a good thing. We need to have these conversations before AI becomes too deeply ingrained in our lives. The elephant in the room, workforce displacement. As AI automates more and more tasks, there's a real risk of job losses in certain sectors. At the same time, there's a growing demand for AI-related skills, creating a massive skills gap. We need to invest in education and training programs to help workers adapt to the changing job market. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of people left behind. Here's a harsh truth. If the benefits of AI aren't distributed equitably, it could exacerbate existing inequalities and create new social divisions. Access to AI-powered services and opportunities could be limited to certain segments of society, leading to further marginalization of vulnerable populations. We need careful policy interventions to mitigate these risks. This isn't just about technology, it's about social justice. All right, let's shift gears and talk about the risks. First up, technical risks. The biggest one? Rapid technological evolution outpacing regulation. AI is moving so fast that the UK's regulatory approach, which initially favored a non-statutory, principles-based framework, may fall behind. It's like trying to catch a speeding bullet with a butterfly net. This could lead to unforeseen consequences and inadequate safeguards. Unlike the EU's AI Act, the UK lacks a single, comprehensive law specifically governing AI. This creates uncertainty and potential gaps in oversight. Think of it as a patchwork quilt instead of a well-tailored suit. It makes it difficult to address novel technical challenges as they arise. We need a clear, consistent framework to ensure safety and accountability. We also need robust verification systems for AI. Without effective verification, we could see unreliable or unsafe AI systems being deployed. And let's not forget about data security. AI systems rely on massive datasets, and breaches could compromise sensitive information. We need to be vigilant about protecting our data. Now, let's talk about commercial risks. The evolving regulatory landscape creates uncertainty for businesses, which can hinder investment and innovation. If the UK's regulatory approach lags behind other jurisdictions, like the EU, UK-based companies may face a competitive disadvantage. They might need to comply with stricter regulations elsewhere to access international markets. It's like playing a game with different rules for different players. The Technology Working Group report highlights existing and anticipated barriers to AI adoption in asset management. These could include a lack of skilled personnel, concerns about data quality, or resistance to change within organizations. And let's not forget about investment risks. Understanding AI's capabilities and limitations is crucial for making sound investment decisions. Misjudging these factors could lead to financial losses. Do your due diligence, folks. The AI action plan's focus on economic growth also implies a risk of economic disruption if AI is not implemented effectively. This could include job displacement and widening income inequality. And here's a crucial point. The UK government's Office for Artificial Intelligence is tasked to promote interoperability with international regulatory frameworks. Failure to do so will result in a disadvantage in international trade. We need to play well with others. Finally, let's address the ethical risks. The post-briefing highlights the need for transparency in AI systems. A lack of transparency makes it difficult to understand how AI systems make decisions, raising concerns about accountability and fairness. We need to know why an AI made a certain decision, especially when it impacts our lives. It's not enough to just trust the algorithm. The post-briefing also mentions addressing employment impacts as a key issue. AI-driven automation could lead to job losses, requiring proactive measures to mitigate the social and economic consequences. And let's not forget about misinformation. AI can be used to create convincing fake content, potentially undermining trust in institutions and spreading harmful narratives. We need to be vigilant about combating misinformation. Also, we need to ensure that humans have the right to intervene in AI decisions. We can't let algorithms run amok. The suggestion of open access to AI code highlights concerns about the potential for misuse of AI technology if it is not made available under appropriate controls. Open source can be great for innovation, but it also opens the door to malicious actors. We need to strike a balance between openness and security. So, what's the takeaway? The UK's AI regulatory landscape is a dynamic and evolving situation. The key risks stem from the tension between fostering innovation and ensuring responsible AI development. A proactive and adaptable approach is needed to mitigate these risks and ensure that AI benefits society as a whole. It's a complex challenge, but one we must address if we want to harness the power of AI for good. And that's all for today, folks. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are you optimistic or pessimistic about the future of AI regulation in the UK? Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.